Hello, so hopefully I'm live and it sends a notification out to everybody. So this is going to be quite a short live stream tonight just because I'm quite tired because getting up early every day at the moment. Been working basically. Be working 4 days this week plus the weekend, so 6 days this week. So most weeks at the moment I'm looking 5 or 6 days a week. So and that's ignoring anything to do with YouTube. So yeah, quite tired, right on. So anyway, I'll only be on the stream for about 30 odd minutes. So good news, right, Mike? And hello, everybody joining. The other FM12 I ordered just because it was at a decent price came today. And yeah, that's perfectly fine. I pressure checked it and everything and it fit. So that's all good. I assume it still has a drinking tube in there that looks pretty unchewed. I don't know if I can get the light to show that. It's going to be a bit dim to see that, isn't it? There, it's on that side of the mask there. Look, but it's going to be quite. If I swing it out a bit using the lever, it might be a bit easier to see. Yeah, it's always going to have a bit of a shadow there from the oral nasal cut, but yeah, that's in good condition. It's not an S10. I just said it wasn't an S10. It says right there it's not an S10. Oh, that's cool, Brighto. But hello, everybody. So yeah, I said short stream tonight just because I've been working too much at the moment and means I'm quite tired by this time, so I'll have to be getting up early again tomorrow and early again Saturday, early again Sunday. Might get a lie-in Monday. Yeah, so I sorted out my parcel. That's why I wasn't on yesterday. I sorted out the parcel and I actually had to go down to the depot and everything and pick it up because they weren't delivering it. No, I've not chocolate muffin. Let me have a look, but I doubt. I'm gonna have a look because I doubt it's not. I'm doubting that's going to be for any obsolete caliber. I imagine it's only ones that are being shot because that was always the case before. Let me just search this because I've not heard of any legislation being passed recently. Obsolete caliber. So news. The only thing coming up if I search this on news is a thing from the BBC saying the government going to crack down on antique guns because they used to kill people, typical BBC bullshit. And the thing from the beginning of this year when they changed what was on the obsolete caliber list, as in they took some stuff on and put more stuff on it. So, yeah, it's not a good mask, is it, Liam? But, yeah, where did you see that? But I've not heard anything on any of the sites that sell it, and you generally hear that sort of stuff pretty early on from the sites that trade in it, because obviously they've got a massive kind of, financial stake in it. So they're going to be the ones that know first off if the law's going to fuck them over. Because I know with obsolete calibers, if you go to shoot it, it has to be registered as a Section 1 or Section 2, depending on what type of gun it is. But from what I understand, it's Section 1 if it's being shot. It's not, it's Section whatever the obsolete caliber section is. Let me open that up. Let's see. Gun will change being licensed to antique firearms. It's about cartridges. Yeah, it's the one I was on about. If you read it, 7 cartridges, 320 British, 41 Colt, 44 Smith & Wesson, 442 revolver, 9.4. Yeah, it's the one I was on about from earlier this year. Yeah, so I'll have a look later, Chocolate Muffin, but yeah, see, yeah, that's the thing as I was saying. That's the thing. It's the thing from earlier this year where they took some of them off and they're considered not obsolete calibers anymore. Although the vast majority of things have actually been added to that list. So, not added to that list, but, added to the obsolete caliber list. So technically things like Kakanos and that now are on the obsolete caliber when they weren't beforehand. Yeah, riding with Biden, AK, yeah. Oh, That's still in frame. Let me move my shoulder a bit. There we go. And I won't have to move it for this stream. Because, yeah, I forgot to move that one out the background. Yeah, that's the problem, though, isn't it, though? Unless you read it really closely, it can sound like it's something that it isn't. It's not a PDF we're talking about. Yeah, that's fair enough, Chocolate Muffin, but you made me a bit worried then, thinking there was something else they just swept under the radar, but... Catman, no, it means if yours is shooting high, it means there's something wrong with it or wrong with your sights. Because a crossbow, if it's been assembled properly, won't shoot high. Are you using the right bolts on it? Because there's generally meant to be a certain length bolt for a certain sort of poundage or draw length, not draw length, like power stroke, bow width for crossbow. Yeah, so as well as playing Vice City, I reinstalled GTA 4 and I've been having quite a lot of fun with that. But GTA 4, for some reason, has been causing my PC to randomly crash, and I'm assuming it's like some sort of driver error or something like that. So I can play it fine. Sometimes I can play it fine for hours. Other times I could be on 20 minutes and then my PC suddenly crashes like the power supply has been pulled out. And then Windows starts like nothing's wrong with it. And it's only doing it in GTA 4, so I don't know what about GTA 4 it is, but... Right, Catman, first check you're using the right bolts, and also check the prods on properly. You're pushing the bolts all the way back, because if your bolts aren't back and they're riding up slightly, they're not going to shoot properly. But in general, it's probably going to be user error, not the fault with the crossbow for the most part, I would think. Alright, cool. Which type of GP4 Wilhelm? Just like the standard Soviet one, like the one up there, or like one of the variants? Oh, and for anybody interested as well, I found out from watching a load of videos what that does on the watch. It's a helium release, which for most people is not a needed feature at all. It's one of those things for like removing the bends from your watch in a sense. Right, Ty? But basically it's to do with like if you're in one of those like bathysphere type things where the pressure changes and your blood oxygen type stuff changes. Every time, they move you up for a bit to decompress you, if you're going to be surfacing, you're meant to release that valve on the watch to let helium out. But yeah, that's the point. As Mike says, if you're not using the sights that are designed for that crossbow, they might be completely incompatible with it. Because from what I know as well, with certain like air rifles and crossbows and things like that, if you put certain scopes on them, they're completely not like calibrated for that type of thing. So, if you're using a scope on a rifle that's designed for something that's breaking the sound barrier at 100 yards and you put on an air rifle, it's probably not going to get any... You probably can't even zero it close to, the crosshair either. I wouldn't pay that really for a tire. Right, Tactical? But, yeah, so... That's that. I took this out earlier, but I'd been forgetting to charge it, and the battery died, which was annoying because it seemed a bit higher radiation than normal. But I mean, at the moment, seeing as I was showing, these are back on eBay. I need to leave feedback for this later. Seeing as these are on eBay now again for £60 each, I would say probably get 2 FM12s rather than a GSR. Samuel, the only thing is the civil defense Geiger counters won't detect alpha radiation, or at least nearly all models of them won't. If you're checking radiation around your house, you probably want something that picks up alpha, just for the sake of seeing if you've got radon levels. That's annoying, Tactical, but yeah, I'm glad you haven't broken your neck or whatever. What, did you slip on your ass on a wet floor? I fell on my ass the other day, but that's because when I was walking the dogs, I bent over to try and do something, and then one of them like pulled on the lead, and it made me fly on my ass. Didn't hurt or anything, because luckily I was on grass and I didn't fall on any shit or anything. But it was still sort of silly. But yeah, if I'd have been in a dodgy place, then that wouldn't have been good. Yeah, Mike, like I said, I probably wouldn't be on to, even if you were on Twitch tonight, I'd probably have gone to bed by then, just because my tiredness is creeping up with me now, just because of, it's been every day this week I've been up early. Support Finland in what way? Finland's a nice country, I've been there. But yeah, Tyre, if you look on eBay at the moment, FM12s are sort of reliably £50 to £60 again, because I think people who bought out big stocks of them to try and scalp them are now just trying to get their money back. When I was playing Grand Theft Auto 4, though, Mike, I thought of you the other day when I was playing darts in it. Can you play darts in GTA 5? I can't remember, but you definitely can in GTA 4. Literally all masks will have some problems like that, Yamada, because obviously the longer you wear a mask and the more humid it is, the more you're going to sweat. And unless the mask has an exhale valve that's like there, the sweat is always going to start pooling up in the mask. The FM12 is still going to drain sweat fairly well because the exhale valve is quite low. It's not going to be brilliant. Cool, Shackleton. Anything interesting? Like helmets, masks, that sort of stuff. All right, Stug. Yeah, I've only been really streaming Vice City this week, and then this week I'm quite tired anyway because I've had I don't know if you've heard, Stug, but I had a parcel that hadn't been turning up day after day after day, so I was getting up for the start of the time slot, staying in for a few hours, going to work, and then having other people stay in for it. And all the stuff like that, and they never delivered it day after day after day. And in the end, yesterday, I got fed up, went to the depot, and then they found it like buried somewhere in the depot. Yeah, strange tactical. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know if it helps that I didn't do a stream yesterday, but yeah, yesterday, because I ended up having to film the video I wanted to do Tuesday yesterday, just because I was having to mess about with that parcel all week. And then I'd have been up to the depot and all that yesterday. I was just like, no, I can't be bothered to do a stream now. What couriers you're with, Stug? Don't say if you don't want to, but mine was Parcel Force that were not delivering it day after day after day. That's cool. So yeah, SKS parts, AK bayonets, some jackets and helmets. That's cool. All right, ready up, Maniac. Hello, anybody else joining, by the way. Yeah, it's fixing it. That's annoying if your HV thing packed up, but yeah. What was the power supply? Because I know you're on about getting a 60 kilovolt one, but what one did you get in the end, or did you have like a cheaper one you already had? Yeah, tactical. Like normally Hermes is the worst one, and then I was sort of thankful this was Parcel Force, and then it was just a case of literally every day being marked out for delivery, and then like we didn't have time to deliver it type thing. And apparently, I'm guessing from what I overheard when they were looking for my parcel in the warehouse when I went there, and the bloke was asking where it was that after they missed the first day or second day of delivering it, they were meant to put on like a priority delivery, so it's like at the front of the van or back of the van, whichever way it is. So you're one of the first stops on the route. So it's definitely going to be delivered that day. And then they forgot to do that. And then they couldn't find it in the depot for 15 minutes and they were looking for it. We were on about that earlier, Alex, saying it's probably not as bad as you think it is. I'm just going to look up the thing that Chocolate Muffin linked in Discord just to double check. But if you're on about the thing we're on about the stuff that is the cartridges that are about March this year. They came up with this, and it's just some cartridges being removed from the obsolete list, other cartridges being added. It's mostly, I think, pistol calibers they're doing this with. So yeah, it's the one. Although the thing you've linked, Chocolate Muffin, I'm going to read the small print now. I'm pretty sure it's going to be those specific calibers. Yeah, there we go. It's propulsion systems. Okay. So obsolete cartridges. Under Section 58, that's the one 2B of the 1968 Act, a firearm can also be regarded as an antique if its chamber or each of its chambers, if it has more than one, is either the chamber it had when it was manufactured or was replaced for such a chamber that is identical to all the materials and blah, 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 blah. Chambers, blah, 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 blah. But basically, the bit we want to get to is the cartridge specifies in the schedule to the antique regulations are arranged according to the type of firearm, long arm or pistol, for which they were designed. However, this is for ease of reference. It is possible that a cartridge listed under one firearm type was also designed to be used with another firearm type. Yeah, and again, here's the bit. Cartridges omitted from the obsolete caliber list. 12. Home Office guidance previously included the following cartridges in the obsolete caliber list, which has made acceptable as qualifying as firearm as antique. 320 British, 41 Colt, 44 Smith & Wesson Russian, 442 revolver, 9.4mm Dutch revolver, 10.6mm German ordnance revolver, and 11mm French ordnance revolver army. So it's all those pistol calibers, basically, that were being reused in pistols to shoot people. So yeah, you're fine. Anything like a Schmidt-Rubin or whatever is not on that list. Oh, I didn't. I'll have to have a look, Radiac Maniac. Maybe I've just not got notifications from his channel in a while. That's a bit annoying if I haven't, but... yeah, broken it or stolen some bits out of it, tactical or whatever. Yeah, well, you can get your money back guaranteed, I imagine, if they fucked it up. But... Jazzmat somewhere like D&B Militaria that does bayonets. Yeah, that's pretty simple then, Brighto, isn't it? But yeah, again, in the UK, it's a bit weird because lots of obsolete calibers can be modern smokeless powders. It's just if they're on the obsolete caliber list. That's interesting, but yeah, when he does the video, I'll have a look. Yeah, but also bear in mind that would I really want one that strong? Because that makes it much more dangerous. And again, it depends how you're measuring it. Because unless you're measuring it with an ionization chamber, Geiger counters will say it's artificially high. But, depends how you're measuring it. Because my Swiss counter measures that SR90 source at like 50 Rontgen, and it isn't that. But it's because of, the calibration on the counters. There probably is cheeky antics, but I'm not somebody who does loads of stuff on a mobile, so I'm not the person to ask. No, Will Howman, you'd know that if you're on a lot of these videos. I've not Radiac Maniac, but that uses Soviet standard Soviet Geiger tubes, so that's going to report high readings on something like that. I could always test that at some point, but yeah, because bear in mind, if I use a Geiger counter on that source, it comes up much stronger than if I use an ionization chamber, and the Geiger counters aren't calibrated for strontium-90, therefore give a false high reading. which is why I don't take those readings as accurate. Oh, I'll have a quick look, TXC Gaming. I think I know what you mean. Yeah, that's the exact same thing that happens with my ones if you put a strong sample near them, any of the glass tubes. But yeah, saying that, I think I've demonstrated this before. You can do that as well using a neon tube tester. That same sort of glow. So if there's a way I can get it to go down the filament rather than, going to ground. But yeah, you're on about that, aren't you? That sort of thing. Yeah, that's just using a high voltage, like xenon tube tester, neon even. I have to do better than that. That's weird because I've had this set as a 6-month subscriber thing, I think, and I've still got people coming on that are either trolling or asking silly questions. That's quite exciting. Yeah, I've kind of wanted a DIAC PPS43, but at the moment, with putting money into bunker savings, I've been kind of hard pressed to justify another DIAC. Oh, tactical. Let me sort that out for you, seeing as I know you are. There you go. Done. Yeah, I hate it, LX Saint, when you get some tablets that are huge and then they get stuck in your throat or hurt your throat as they go down. Use the GP5 testing size, which you can find online, and then translate it into whatever mask you're interested in. But most people are going to be size normal to large in most masks. I didn't even see that, OJB. How recently was that? But yeah, I've not seen much on the news recently other than all the Afghanistan stuff. You went to block it and then you couldn't do it, yeah. Yeah, so if you're interested in measuring yourself for a gas mask, it's not a really efficient way of doing it, but use a GP5 measuring guide type thing. Work out what size you are in a GP5, and then say you're a size large in GP5, work out what other mask you're interested in. You're probably going to be a size large in that. There's very few masks I've got where I don't fit a common size, where on nearly all my masks, I'm either medium or large. It's very, very rare I buy a mask and its sizing is so weird, you don't end up being a normal size. Which MP5 are you on about? If you're on about the MP5 that's already slightly disassembled, I didn't do that. It was one that Piota sent to me that was already kind of like a spares and repairs one. And if you mean disassembling my regular MP5, I've not even tried it. I need to find out where it is first. I think it might be out there, but I've not really looked. Yeah, tell you what, I was going to do a video on the War Emergency Guidebook tomorrow, but if a few people are worried about that obsolete caliber thing, I will, if you want instead, do an obsolete caliber sort of thing explaining that new law, in case people are kind of worried and thinking it means all obsolete calibers, not those specific mentioned calibers. And look, I've got dog scratches all down my arm there, and on the back of my hand there. Yeah, you can get quite a few butyl mixes, can't you, as well, Brighton? Some of those feel really different than each other. Alan, he's on about the Polish MP5. It's a gas mask. Yeah, I'll do the War Emergency Guidebook one, but I'll do that next week, because, again, that's just kind of documenting the chapters for a few people that asked me, could I do photos or scans of it? And, again, it's worth doing that. It's just that, it's not really a priority video, so I can every week or two just do one of the chapters for that. Because, obviously, I need to get the tripod and the lighting set up so it's as readable as possible. Because the problem with that book is a lot of the pages are sort of more faded or bold than others. So you set the camera up for one and then realise when you turn over that it's not going to read the next one. Yeah, there's a lot of good Warsaw Pact block sort of ones, LX Saint, that are good for cold weather. I mean, that's obviously what they designed a lot of them for. So just find one you like the look of them, doesn't cost too much, really. But yeah, as far as I can tell, the reason those particular calibers are, being removed from the obsolete caliber list is because they're ideal ones for obsolete handguns, for gangbangers shooting each other. And I think that's why there was a media storm about them at one point. Because if I remember right, there was a bloke who got done because he was reloading obsolete caliber ammo for gangs to use in handguns. Like he was an actual gunsmith or something, licensed to do it. But then he was selling the ammo illegally. So basically what he would do is supply the gangs with obsolete caliber, revolvers or whatever, and then manufacture the ammo for them. And at that point, it's just as deadly as any other handgun if it's being pulled out, for a robbery. Whereas, obsolete rifles are definitely not on that list because, they're not small sort of, pocket cartridges, I just normally use eBay LX8. I mean, if you've got a physical store, it's better because you can try it on and check it's not damaged. There's a few other surplus places in the UK. There's Surplus and Lost, but a lot of them as well actually have an eBay store that's pretty much the same price as their website. Prepper's Shop have some surplus clothing. But yeah. Anyway, I've been on nearly half an hour, so I'll be on 5 more minutes, let's say. Then I'm going to go off because I want to get an early night tonight, so I'll probably stay on the PC for another hour after the stream. But yeah, because I'm getting up early again tomorrow, working for a few hours. Then I'm working sort of 8 or 9 hour shifts both weekend days. I've got Monday off and then I'm back to work again. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of the people making a fuss about banning these obsolete calibers are also the ones I don't know why somebody would want to own body armor like those people. Yeah, Varusteleka, or however it's pronounced, I can never pronounce it, is a good site as long as they do good postage prices to your country. Because they used to be quite expensive for UK shipping, and now they're not as bad. But obviously, in some places, even if their prices are good, the shipping might make it more than buying from a local place. Also, actually, something to bear in mind, if you're buying from Varusteleka into the UK, be very careful, because if they put an EU 20% tax on your item, it probably makes it stupidly expensive for what it is, especially if you're buying something quite cheap. So yeah, that would be something I say. I like Varusteleka, but yeah, at the moment I'm trying to buy as much from within the UK as possible, so I don't get stupid import taxes. Oh yeah, that's a nice coat, Brighto. I know the one you mean. Looking at that, that reminds me a bit of the Czech one I've got, just with a better collar. Isn't there an East German one that looks a bit like that as well? That's really cool. I've got a weird feeling that there's an East German one with a bit of a woolly collar like that, or yeah, it would be wool, wouldn't it? Like sheep's wool. Yeah. Yeah, they're very good things, TXC Gaming. Anyway, yeah, I'll be off. So, yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of, Tactical. Anyway, like, so I'll be off. I won't stream tomorrow, but I will get a video put up, and it'll probably be the obsolete caliber one, just because that's something that now 2 people have come on the stream and gone, oh, did you know the rules are changing? I might do a video on that. Because I said it was the thing I thought it was initially, the calibers they removed from the list, even though they added more calibers than they removed. So if you owned an obsolete caliber pistol, it might be bad news. However, it's actually good news if you wanted more obsolete, rifles, because there's now lots of old rifles we couldn't previously own that we can. And a lot of them are like World War One era rifles, which is cool. If there was actually, like Italian, like all that sort of. But sadly, Lee Enfields are still not on the list. 303 is still not on the list of obsolete calibers, which probably makes sense over here, but still. Yeah, if I'm awake then, Mike, and I haven't gone to bed, I'll catch your YouTube stream. I think that's literally it, Cornholio. I think the logic is just literally, things close enough to modern calibers, but you could legally own them without any of the paperwork. It was a bit more of a grey area there, because it's more like getting around several like stricter rules. Again, I wish they didn't change the rules, but then again, I don't think pistols should be banned completely either like they are here. But right, see you all. Have a good evening, everybody. And yeah, I won't be streaming tomorrow, but I will get a video put up tomorrow.